Good morning. It's 3 weeks from the end of the previous video you just watched. There's been a heat wave. I got heat stroke. I got a head cold. I'm still a little bit stuffed up, but I'm definitely on the road to repair. And it's quite beautiful out this morning, so I'm gonna use this little window of nice weather to do a bit of carpentry. If I can bang out a bunch of work before 11 a.m. today, I'll be very happy. And let's see what I can get done. First things first, I need to move all this crap out of the way. Living in my house is like living inside a really annoying game of Tetris. So I'm going to move these giant pieces of wood back over to the other side of the house, clear out these buckets of stuff, and move the gas, and I'll be working right behind this giant piece of wood. So it's got to go. It's not exactly ideal where I've located everything, but you know, at least it's not in the corner and I can get in here and work, which is my goal. So allow me to show you a little bit of weirdness. So you can see this piece of wood that it goes around the perimeter of the house. It's just how I happened to frame the floor. And what ended up happening was that this wood is a little bit higher than the base floor. It won't matter in most places, like behind there it'll be covered with cabinets and things, but anywhere where I want to put tiles, it'll need to be flat. So tiles are going to, in theory, go to the edge of the wall, so I basically just need to chisel everything down flat. This piece of wood here, I want it to go in farther, so I've got to chisel sort of along that line there to make it flush with the dark plywood. So that's what I'm working on now. I could have planned this better and maybe used a piece of wood that was less thick, but you know, it's not the end of the world. It's time consuming. It's actually weirdly meditative. I really enjoy chiseling, and it's a mindless task that I can just do. Listen to a podcast, switch off, and just get it done. So this all looks very chaotic, I'm sure. I promise you I have a plan. It is taking a lot longer than I was expecting. So this might span a few days of work, but that's fine. I really want to get this bottom shelf sort of on. Maybe not screwed down, but at least so I know what I'm doing, know where it's going. And then I'd also like to get the bottom portion of this part done. I guess this is my new workbench, this nice piece of wood. But it's already cluttered, and also not very sustainable because I'm going to be chopping this piece of wood into smaller pieces, but for now, it'll do the trick. I should definitely sharpen my chisels, but it's one of my most hated tasks, but it has been a long time, so I think before the end of the day I will get to chisel sharpening, but for now they're just barely okay to do what I want to do. And basically what I'm trying to do is just round the edges off a little bit so it kind of matches the front. So I'm going to get the sander out and just carry on trying to make this bottom shelf. So that gives me a nice starting point, and then I can finish it off with the sander. Okay, I'd say that looks okay. It's going to be pretty hidden anyway, but it's got a nice little curve on there. I still need some work. It's a bit wobbly. And you can see it doesn't really go in against the wall the whole way. But for now, I have the pieces. They're cut to size. I have the underneath piece. I'm not going to fasten anything down, but this is basically what the shelf will look like. I might actually end up rounding this off just a little bit more, but we'll see. I don't need to make any decisions now. And the idea is that I want to be able to put these spice jars on here. I think they look cool and easy access, and yeah, so seems like there's plenty of space. I might do a little metal railing around. I might not, but yeah, I'm kind of digging how this has gone so far. It's a new day. I'm up early. I'm trying to beat the heat once again. It's a little frustrating having to do work in these little short spans of time in the morning before it gets too hot, but I guess that's what happens when you're in the midst of a brutal heat wave. I've got my coffee, I've got my yogurt, and I'm just having breakfast, but I've been a bit distracted. Not by coffee, but by this book by Lloyd Kahn. And this book is about small houses, and I find it very inspiring. So I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast at a leisurely pace. It is Sunday after all. Drink my coffee and peruse this book and look for some ideas. It's been a while since I've had a look through it, and I think it's got so many amazing ideas and just lots of creative spaces, places built with all those little extra tiny touches that I'm hoping to add to my place as well. Plus, the book has all these cool little drawings, which I absolutely love. To me, the houses in this book are more like works of art than houses, and the intention for my place is to have all these little artistic touches all around as well. So it's not just about function, it's about making something that I think is really, really beautiful with lots of character. And this book is really probably the best inspiration. He's got a load of other books as well, but this is the one I have, and I love it. But coffee's done, and I've got my own project to work on, so time to get back to it. That took a frustratingly long time. It's too hot to be sawing by hand. I enjoy it because I want the practice and I like the quiet, but now is not the time. I'm in a race against the heat, and I just want to get this done. So I will be bringing out the giant saw for the next cut. This guy is a workhorse. It's an amazing saw. It's probably overkill for most of what I need. So for that cut that I just did, definitely do not need this saw. The thing has 2 batteries, which makes it 38 volts, 36 volts. And yeah, it's a really, really good saw. I think that I've had lots of experience with circular saws, and they just don't get the job done, especially if you're doing a rip cut in the opposite direction of the grain, or the direction with the grain. The longy ways. If you're doing a cut like that, then regular size circular saws often struggle, and for some reason I seem to have needed to do those kinds of cuts, so I've had a lot of experience with struggling circular saws. So when I saw this one, 2-battery monster. I decided to get it, and it's been great. I cut a lot of large timbers for my mezzanine, and I also have done a lot of rip cuts where I've kind of cut planks and cut longer pieces of wood out of thicker pieces of wood and things like that. So I'm so happy to have it. I love it. It's never struggled. It's amazing. It's probably about 250 euros, plus you need the 2 batteries to use it. But I would highly recommend it. However, if you are just doing kind of smaller projects and little repairs around the house and stuff, you probably don't need that guy. Even for me, I could probably use the small circular saw, which I'd use most often, and I'd bust out this guy from time to time when I needed certain specific types of cuts. But besides being sort of heavy and needing 2 batteries, you know, once it's out and set up and everything, it's great. I love it, and I'm not really carrying it very far or hanging off of a rooftop or anything like that. So it's totally fine for my purposes, and I am very happy to have this. But one day I will invest in a smaller one for circumstances like this. I definitely did not need that massive saw to make this little cut. So love this tool. Possibly not the right tool for the job, but it's what I have. And right now in this heat and in a race against time, it beats the hand saws as well. So I'm not entirely sure that my plan is going to work with the wood that I have. It's not exactly square. It's been drying for quite a while, probably warping as it does. And basically what I'm trying to do is sort of glue and screw a whole bunch of these pieces together. But in order to do that, it kind of needs to be, you know, so you can't see daylight through there. And you can see that this piece of wood has a bit of a bow thing in it. And yeah, not ideal. So I'll get done what I can. Even if I can get a couple pieces fastened together, that would be really amazing. I found this, which is a straight edge, and this will be a good gauge for how straight or wobbly these bits of wood are. This piece looks pretty good down at this end. So that's how it's supposed to fit. That gives me a little bit of confidence. I'm gonna glue and screw. Well, first I'm gonna chop. And so the fit's actually a lot better than I was expecting it would be with these pieces of wood, so I'm really happy. I need one more piece to the puzzle for the front, and then I can start fastening it all together. Okay, here's my Frankenstein method. Glue, clamp, and now I'm gonna wax some screws in, and then I put the next one on, the next one on, the next one on. Saw off the ends, sand it all down, and hopefully I have something that looks sort of nice. We'll see. So many clamps, probably overkill, but I have them, so why not use them? And I do love a good clamp. So I have made a miscalculation. It's nothing too serious. It's just a little annoying because I thought I was finished, but I am not. So this piece is what's going to sit underneath the shelf I just made. And what I did was calculate the depth of that based on this piece. But I forgot that there's actually going to be an overhang. So imagine this goes underneath. This part actually overhangs a little bit. So I'm going to need one more piece of wood attached onto the back. But I'm not going to do that today because I don't know if you can see, but I'm sweating. The sun is out there. It's coming over the building and it's about to get me. So it's too hot to be working on this anymore. I'm going to go have a siesta with a fan directly on my face and hide inside for a little while. Good morning. It's a brand new day and I'm going to crack on with the carpentry. My goal for today is to attach another bit of wood onto this and to make 3 more shelves. Whether I get that done or not is anyone's guess, but it's early and I'm gonna give it my best shot. Caught on film. Definitely time to invest in some new work gloves. Next time I go to town, I'm not going to forget this time. The situation is dire. So the overhang at the front part here should be 6 centimeters. So I want a total width of around 48 centimeters, and there can be some more overhang at the back. So minimum 48. So, in case you're wondering why I didn't just chop it right off across, it's because I realized, possibly a little too late, that this piece isn't long enough to do 3 pieces without kind of doing a sort of overlap like that. So that's what I did to make it work, and that should give me 2 more shelves out of this same piece of wood. Not as good as last time, but still very satisfying. It's a new day, and I'm off to a bit of a late start today because I ended up going to the builder yard to get sand and bricks so I can work on my water tank this weekend. So it's about 11 in the morning, pretty late start for me, but I'm just going to be doing some light carpentry work, so hopefully I can push through. And it's not going to be quite as hot today. It's still going to be a 35-degreer, but that's nothing like 38 degrees. Somehow 35 I can cope with. That's like my cutoff. And then after that, it's just like doom and gloom and fetal position in bed, crying myself to sleep, basically. Not really, but also not that far off. So today will be a beautiful day, and let me show you what I'm going to attempt to do. So yesterday I was able to put this final piece of wood on, and that gives me basically the base. So this part here will be the bottom of the kitchen cabinet. this side will be the wall, and then this side will be my stove. So I want to square everything off, chop it up to size, and then I'm going to build, hopefully, the cabinets, which would mean some uprights, basically kind of like a cube situation, a frame basically, built off of the bottom, and then I'll insert the whole thing into place, in theory. So today I'm going to cut this to size, try to get a couple of uprights on at least, and then sand it, make it look nice. Even if I don't fasten it all together, get all the bits of the frame ready, and then hopefully that'll allow me to figure out exactly how I want to attach it all together, how I want to attach it all in place. I don't have a fully formed idea yet, as usual, but I'm looking forward to going vertical on this thing, and maybe even having a cabinet by the end of the day, or maybe by the end of the week, which is more likely. So time to get some wood and get started / continue. Maybe I'm not as good at cutting on the line as I thought I was. That's not exactly square. That one's a bit better, so I'll make this one the top. Yeah, that one's good. So the square cut matters more on the top, so this can go on the top, this can be the bottom. And I think I'll switch back to the hand tools. I don't know why I got all excited with the circular saw today. I guess I started with the circular saw to make the long cut on the base, and since it's out, probably just got used to having it around, but I'm going to switch back to the hand tools. I really need not only to sharpen my chisel, I probably need to grind all of the little dents and things out of them, but I don't have a grinder, so sharpening them is what I need to do at a minimum. But I don't love sharpening tools. I'm pretty bad at it, and I guess the only way to get better at it is to practice, but if I find it quite frustrating, even though I do have this like special sharpening tool. But it's a nice, chilled out, relaxed thing to do in the afternoon when it's super hot, so perhaps today will be the day that I sharpen my chisels and maybe a few other knives as well. Or perhaps it won't be. Perhaps I'll just continue to delay. All I know is that right now I can't be bothered sharpening them, so I'm going to keep at it with my crappy, dull, chipped chisels. Alright, here's where I'm at. I've got a little raised bit underneath. Nothing's fastened down or even laid out properly. I've got this top piece and it's sort of positioned to where it's going to end up, and so I've got this gap at the back where I need to attach another more narrow piece of wood. I've got the two front bits made that are going to go up right here, and then that's about it. So I'm trying to figure out how to fasten it all together in a way where I can still access the wall. So I don't really know. I'm going to probably put a couple pieces, obviously that's too short, there and then over there, and fasten a bit of wood there, and then it kind of gives me a base to set something on top of. I want to connect the top part together. I really wish I would have put some wood into the wall. I guess I didn't really have a design plan, so I didn't embed. You can kind of embed bits of wood into the rocks, and then you sort of fasten it all in with lime. And even if you don't use them, you cover them over with lime, it's fine. But if you do get to a point where you want to screw something in, it's there for you. I've done it here. So in here is some wood. Up there, that's there to attach stuff. It'll eventually be covered up. It's also there to frame the top part. So it's a good idea. I've learned to just embed wood in various places, and then I could have kind of, I don't know, fastened crap together. Anyway, this is where I'm at. What I'm going to do now is make 2 more pieces here. And yeah, just have a little brainstorm about how to fasten this whole thing together so I can lime the sides so I can get in there. So I'm not going to want to do a frame on top because that'll prevent me from getting in here. I want to keep it open and then drop something on top after I have a chance to lime. So let's see how we go. So here I am again with my trusty orbital sander, and I feel like this channel is a channel that seems to have a lot of sanding montages. What's the plural of montage? Montages? I don't actually know. Doesn't sound right, but let's just go with that. And it begs the question, one of life's great questions perhaps, how many sanding montages does one YouTube channel really need? And I feel like I've overdone it a bit, so this time, instead of my sanding montage, I will do things a little differently. And magically, just like that, the piece is done. It's not perfect. I didn't do it too finely. This piece is going to be wedged into the corner, partially encased in the lime wall, so seen by nobody, doesn't need to be perfect. So I've got a bunch more sanding to do. I'm just going to get to it and check in a little later. Through the magic of editing, I have another piece sanded. I have most of my pieces ready that I need to be able to assemble stuff, but I'm not going to do any assembling because I need to give it a bunch more thought. I need to make a few more pieces, and if I'm honest with you, it's Thursday morning, I need to finish this video, and I've just literally run out of time. So I'm not going to assemble, but let me show you everything I have, and in the next kitchen build video, which will probably be in a few weeks, we're going to put it all together and hopefully add a few artistic touches as well. So next video, assembly time. This video, puzzle piece making time. Okay, here's the puzzle. I've got the base, I've got the front uprights, I've got the back uprights, and I've got the 3 shelves that will be in front of the feature wall. Everything's cut, still needs to be oiled, and I still need a few more pieces to be able to assemble everything together, but that will come in another video. So it does feel a little bit anticlimactic that I haven't actually assembled anything together in this video, so sorry about that. But in the meantime, I have a whole bunch of puzzle pieces for this cabinet, and I'll be ready to go when the time comes to put everything together. And so as always, thank you for watching. Like and share and all that stuff. Leave me a comment. I love answering questions in the comments and just having the chats in the comments. So yeah, do say hello there. And I'll see you in the next video.